What's going on, everyone? This is Steve Larson, and you're listening to Secret MLM Hacks Radio. So here's the real mystery. How do real MLMers like us, who didn't cheat and only bug family members and friends, who want to grow a profitable home business, how do we recruit A players into our downlines and create extra incomes, yet still have plenty of time for the rest of our lives? That's the blaring question, and this podcast will give you the answer. My name is Steve Larson, and welcome to Secret MLM Hacks Radio. Hey, what's up, everyone? Hey, I'm excited for today because we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics ever, and it's something that actually has blessed my life a lot, especially as of about 6 months ago. So if you don't know, on Secret MLM Hacks Radio, after you opt in the bottom right there, there's a little button. It's a green button. If you click it, it'll you can record straight from your browser a question from me about MLM, or question to me, I mean. And I'm going to go ahead and drop one of those in now because I think it's an important topic. And this is something, I'm not kidding. When I found this and when I figured out how to do this, my life changed. And I'm not just saying that because, but anyway, you'll see why. Let me play the question real quick. This is from Sarah. Sarah, I appreciate the question.
Hey, Steve. I'd love to start doing a podcast similar to yours about never having to talk to your family or friends or annoy your warm market. I love MLM, but have always hated the warm market side of it. And I love your trainings. I think they're just exactly what I need. Do you think it's okay to go ahead and podcast even if I've never had any experience in this and have never had a downline or recruited anybody? Thanks very much. Bye.
Sarah, that's a fantastic question. I really appreciate you saying that. So there's this whole element to needing to find your voice to become a leader. I've never found too many leaders who don't know how to communicate. Meaning they're not eloquent, all of them. They're not like, not these posh guys wearing suits all the time. You know what I mean? Like the crappy, totally fake image that Hollywood tosses on us as far as like who a speaker or a salesman is or whatever. Like that's total garbage. I don't believe in that kind of stuff. In fact, I usually make fun of those guys, and I'm like, those are the guys that put way too much starch in their shirts, trying to act too professional all the time, act like they were born in a tuxedo, and you're like, come on, like no one's like that, you know. Anyway, so Sarah, I'm not sure if you've ever heard of a guy named Russell Brunson, but he is the man. He's an internet marketer who talked about something called the attractive character. Now, I don't think he's the one that actually came up with this concept, but this is powerful, okay? When I first started my podcast, not this podcast, I have a second one. My first podcast, which I started about a year ago, I kind of went through the same things that you're describing right now. I was scared to death to launch it, but I wanted to feel like I was making progress. So I actually was, I was so scared to do it that I actually was recording episodes without launching them. And I got like 17 episodes recorded, and I was interviewing all these people, and I was doing all this stuff, and I was just so scared to death to actually launch the thing, because I was like, gosh, is this good enough? Like, is anyone actually going to listen to this thing? Is it, you know? And I'm proud to say that that's been over a year now, and there's about 60,000 downloads on it, which is awesome, and it's been a lot of fun. But that didn't happen at first, right? It not at all. Definitely not at all. It was really interesting though. I don't know what it was. I mean, I would go, and for the format for every one of my podcasts and for any time I would publish anything was always this. Okay, what's a story I can tell? What's a principle behind it? You know, and what's like a call to action? What's something I want them to do? Whether it's go somewhere or act on your own to do something or whatever it is. And that was kind of the formula that I'd follow. Anytime I communicate with my audience at all, ever, whether it's a podcast, whether it's on video or whatever, like that's what I would do. And I got better and better and better and better at it. And I got better and better at ad-libbing. I mean, I used to write out all my episodes like word for word almost, and try and act like I wasn't reading it, you know. And something happened though. I don't know what it was. I do now, actually. But I'm almost 80 episodes into that podcast, and something happened around episode 30 or 40. My confidence changed. My voice changed. I found my voice. I found, rather than thinking, hey, how would this guy say it over here? How would that leader say it over there? How would Steve Larson say it? You know? And I got really, really fun because it became fun for me is what I'm saying, because I learned to love it. And podcasting started becoming this thing that I was like, man, I can't wait to do my next episode. Rather than this thing of anxiety, it was like, oh my gosh, this is cool. And but I didn't know what to say at first, so I started by interviewing all these other experts. And so I interviewed, a ton of people, people that were just killing it in these different areas, right? And I would go, it was a lot of fun to do it that way. And it helped me understand how they were saying things, and then I understood how to speak more about, you know what I mean? And I got confidence, and I found my voice. Now, I don't necessarily mean so much, there's certainly some confidence that comes with it. There's certainly some, more eloquence of the voice, the way you say things or the way you describe stuff, your own isms, your own passion points, things like that. But really what I'm saying is I found my message, with that other audience, with that other podcast. I got a lot of followers on that podcast. And I found my message, though. I found what I stand for. And that's more challenging. And so back to what I was saying about Russell Brunson. Russell, what he did is he actually created this thing called the attractive character. And what it is it's kind of a formula that shows you what you need to have in order to become a followable leader, a followable character, somebody who is attractive, right? And there's certain elements to being an attractive character. You got to have a backstory. Everybody has a backstory. How did you get here? That's your backstory, right? What was the struggles you went through? What were the things you went through that was sucked? That's your backstory, right? Number two, what are your parables? Meaning, what are more of the stories you tell? So you got the backstory. That's like your origin story. That's where you came from. But then you got all these parables, the isms, the stories that you tell that teach your main principles, right? The third one is one of the most challenging for people, and that is character flaws. You need to be able to show what your character flaws are. You've got to be able to share what they are. I get frustrated sometimes. I have no problem sharing that. What's funny is Robert Kiyosaki said, and I think I actually said this in a previous episode, but man, when you get started, Sarah, you're going to go out and you're going to get started in this, and I'm sure you'll start podcasting. You're going to have character flaws that explode in your face that won't let you move on until you address them. Right, which might be, hey, let's say that I can't get up on time. Therefore, I don't have time to actually work on my business before I do my 9 to 5. You know what I mean? Therefore, I'm not going to progress until that's just an example. Therefore, I'm not going to progress until I address the fact that I keep sleeping in. You know what I mean? Like that's an example of what. Of a huge character flaw, and you're gonna have to get past that before you can move on. Character flaws are gonna blow up in your face, but the tendency, guys, here's the real secret. The tendency is to take those character flaws and hide them, and it is the exact opposite thing to do. Take your character flaws and expose them. Number one, you'll get over them easier. Number two, people will be attracted to you because you're willing to share them, because you're willing to be vulnerable, right? And that's a challenging thing to do. And then the fourth element of the attractive character is all about polarity. Meaning, what do you stand for? Where do you draw lines in the sand? Where does Sarah actually get passionate? Where does she get really mad? Where does she get happy? Where does she get angry? Where are the points in Sarah where she's like, no, I don't do that. Yes, I do that, right? And you have to get really open and really loud about those things. And I am 100% against recruiting family members and friends. I will not do it because I did it before and I hate it. So my whole quest, all of Secret MLM Hacks, is all about how to automate downline recruiting while not talking to family members and friends. If they want to join, they can, great, but I'm not going to talk to them about it. I'm not going to promote it, right? And I am so proud to say, I have spent years trying to figure this out, and I am so proud to say that I have a lot of people I've never met ever who are joining my downline because of my system and how it's working and the fact that it does work, which just proves it's exciting, right? And for me, that's this huge point of polarity. Whereas a lot of people, their point of polarity is like, no, I do stand for that. It's all about the war market. It's all, you know what I mean? And that's what they'll say. And I'm against that. I'm totally against that. And I'm willing to publish about it. And so you gotta find a place where you get passionate. Find a place where you're willing to get on the mic and spit it. You know what I mean? Like, get ready to rock, because nobody follows mediocrity. Nobody follows it. If you're mainstream, you're not followable. Okay? You can be, meaning your life and the way you live can be mainstream. Like, you can be, and that's how I'm a normal guy. But if you start trying to be a leader What makes you a leader? A leader is somebody who stands up for what they think in, right? A leader is somebody who goes and says, "Follow me, I know the path," right? And you need to become the attractive character. And so what's funny is that when I first started podcasting, when I first started publishing, I was not that way at all. And it's not that I wasn't trying to be. I was trying to be. It's just it wasn't me yet. I hadn't figured out my voice. I hadn't figured out how I speak. I hadn't figured out. And so when I was talking to people, whether it's about downline recruiting or as I'm building a sales funnel for somebody or whatever it was, I needed to get better at me and my attractive character. So anyway, one of the easiest ways to find your voice, start telling your story to almost everyone you can, whether it's a short story or a long story, start telling your story. Get really opinionated, and it gets really, really easy for you to start publishing and find that attractive character. So anyway, those are like the 4 elements of the attractive character. You got backstory, there's parables, character flaws, and polarity. And you've got to get fierce. Nobody follows, like I was saying, nobody follows somebody who's not really, really confident. It's funny. What is the quote? This is from Satema, and I think I might actually said this on this podcast too. I'm not sure. Sometimes they bleed back and forth. But he said that confidence is for children. What you need to maintain as a leader is absolute certainty. Whew, that's deeper. That's harder. That's something more challenging to get, right? And so what are you absolutely certain about? Okay, you're like, whoa. Okay, those are the points of polarity. Those are the points of where you're willing to fight. Howard Stern, I hate that guy, but everybody knows who he is because he has ridiculous polarity. Does that make sense? He has more people who follow him because they hate him than the people who actually like him. That's an actual statistic. More people follow him who hate him. But it's because he has that much polarity, right? And if you try and get out and I'm not trying to tell you to just go and be confrontational with people. That's not the point. That's not what I'm saying. But when you go out and you actually decide to be to maintain absolute certainty, what are those things you're willing to stand for? Those are ways that you can become the attractive character. Those are ways that you can start to publish and people will follow. So anyway, it's all about that and maintaining the certainty. So number 1, I'm telling you to go find your attractive character, by finding your voice, start telling your story, get it, anyway, your backstory with your parables, character flaws. Don't be afraid to share the character flaw. Don't come off so professional either. All right, I never put a shirt and a tie on anymore when I go speak on stage because it's like, it's not, I actually love wearing suits, but that's just not me. That's not my resting state. Don't be afraid to expose your resting state. The state where you can put the hair down. Show the hair down you versus the hair up you. Does that make sense? Show who you really are, and people will follow that. They'll appreciate that rather than this facade of look at my Ferrari and my huge house and pictures of me at the pool. Like, that's fluffy crap. I hate that. See, that's a point of polarity right there. I freaking hate that because most people are not like that, and they're not even like that half the time. I guarantee it. Lots of times, I mean, have you ever hung out by a pool for more than 2 days? You're freaking bored out of your mind. Nobody does that. And so, anyway. And if I'm on the beach, I'm not going to have a freaking laptop there. I'm going to be playing in the water with my kids. I'm going to be building some coolest sandcastle you ever seen. Does that make sense? I hate the whole, but I'm working on the beach with my laptop. It's like, okay, I'm throwing my laptop in the ocean because it should not be there. Anyway, I have one other piece of advice for all of you guys out there. If you want to be a leader and if you want especially in MLM, oh my gosh, especially in MLM, guys, regularly publish. I don't care what medium you choose, meaning it could be podcasts, it could be video, it could be I know there's a guy who sends me an actual written newsletter in the mail every month. Whatever it is, if you regularly publish, it will change your life within a year. It's done that for me. It actually was much faster than that though. And the reason why is because you will find your voice. It goes back to that. You find your message. You find what it is you stand for. You find all those things that I'm talking about right now. You find that. And when you do that, you attract people to you without you trying to attract them, right? You become the marketing message. You become the marketing system. You literally will turn into somebody different. It's the funnest game in the planet. I love what we do. Guys, MLM is pretty cool. Not because it's... MLM is like BizOp mixed inside of personal development, which is really fun. So anyway, it's a lot of fun, and you should get passionate about it. And if you're not passionate about it, nobody will follow you. Nobody will care who you are. What makes you different versus that person over there? Well, for a lot of you, since you have the exact same product, you haven't done anything to turn it into an offer that's different, or you have no marketing system, or you have no different website or scripts. You're literally the exact same as everybody else. The only thing that you can actually be different on is the the actual leadership, the attractive character. And so, anyway, that's what Secret MLM Hacks is. That's what I'm creating, is the ability. It's frameworks for you to make your opportunity a new opportunity. All right, not just better, faster, stronger. We all see that every day, but a new niche. How do you do that to your downline, your current downline? How do you make it so attractive that people leave their MLM to join yours? All right, that's what we want. That's what we're trying to create. Anyway, how do you make the websites? Right, and that's what my job is. That's all I do. Is how do you do that stuff in a way? And I'm not a coder, so that should really help you. If you're like, I'm not a tech person, guess what? I'm not a coder either. I don't know how to program. I have no idea. But my full-time job is basically I build websites. And you're like, what? And it's not through WordPress. It's not through anyway. I'll show you guys all that kind of stuff later. Like, if you don't you have the same scripts as everybody, right? If you're the exact same, why the heck would anyone follow you? Right, and so for a lot of you guys, you start thinking of it that way in terms of a marketer. Play devil's advocate on yourself. Start asking yourself the hard question: why would I join me? Why would somebody join me? Like, oh gosh, I don't know. Like, well, they don't know either. Then, that's the hard truth. And I'm just trying to be forward about it, and I'm trying to have my polarity about it because I'm really passionate about this topic, which is the whole reason I started Secret MLM Hacks, because I want to fix that. It's what I do. It's my actual job every day, all day, is to create new opportunities, to create the websites, create scripts, create things that people are excited and change their behavior over. But people don't teach that in MLM, which is why I'm doing this. There's my polarity there, right? You'll see some of my character flaws throughout because I get pretty passionate. And anyway, so anyways, if Sarah, I challenge you to start publishing. And I challenge you to start doing it regularly. And the only thing I want you to do is start telling your story. The very first episode, before you go do it, just so you don't, so it's a little practice, then you kind of know where you're taking it. Go tell your story to family member and friends. Just go tell the story. There's no closing. You're not asking people. Just be like, you know why I got into this game MLM? Like, you might actually think it's kind of weird. I actually... you could even tell them like you don't want them in there. It sometimes increases scarcity, and they might actually end up joining you anyway. But just go start telling your story to people. Why the heck did you get an MLM? Like, well, it's because somebody was asking me to get in. It's like, no. What was the emotional epiphany inside your head? Why did you get into this game? What was it? Was your back against the wall? Were you trying to make extra money? Why? What were you trying to make the extra money for? Were you, you know what I mean? Like, I went through that story a lot in the first episode. I didn't feel like a man. I didn't feel like I was providing well for my wife, my brand new bride, That sucks. And I dove right into that. You got to be that open. Be that open, or you're just saying facts, and people are going to roll those off their back. Anyway, guys, I hope you're doing awesome. Super excited for this episode to go live. I'm super excited for what I'm doing too. Just a little update. I've been building the course for Secret MLM Hacks, and it's going really, really well. The first module is all about how to attract people to you, and it's not like a fictitious, fluffy thing. It's like literally, formulas. Hey, here's how you do it. There's actually science behind it, and a lot of. Anyway, there's a science and there's an art, and I kind of go through both with it. Second module so far is all about how to qualify people. I don't want just anybody in my downline. How do I actually qualify those individuals? So anyway, I'm excited. This is what I'm doing right now. I've been building it like crazy. Got an in-home studio set up, and my family's out of town right now, so I am going to, I've been staying up kind of just night and day, working like crazy, and it's a ton of fun. So, all right, guys, we'll talk to you later, and if you need any more guidance on the kind of stuff I'm talking about right now, go to secretmlmhacksradio.com, and there's an MLM Masters Pack there for you. It's 5 videos that will train you and your downline on how to create a new opportunity out of something that is very much not a new opportunity, right? Anyways, everyone has MLM right now, so how do you make it different? All right, guys, talk to you later. Bye. Hey, thanks for listening. Please remember to subscribe and leave feedback for me. Do you have a question you want answered live on the show? Go to secretmlmhacksradio.com to submit your question and download your free MLM Masters Pack.